Day 13 of Broncos training camp, the final full training camp practice ahead of the preseason opener against the Cardinals. We'll tell you what to expect. Plus, former Broncos wide receiver Ed McCaffrey joins us. Broncos Camp Daily starts right now. Hello, thank you for joining us here for Broncos Camp Daily. I am Phil Milani alongside the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater and our special guest today, Ed McCaffrey. Thank you so much, Ed, for joining us.
Eddie Mac, the man.
How you been doing?
I'm doing great. Great. It was my first practice I got to watch. The Broncos were looking good. It's a little warm out here. I'm not nearly as sore as I thought I would be after my first practice. I'm feeling pretty good. So far, so good.
Got a chance, I know you were signing some autographs, hanging out with the fans, but just some peeks at the team. What'd you think?
The fans were great, first of all. I think there's a really healthy buzz here. I don't think we're getting overly optimistic. I think this is the year we under-promise and over-deliver. But I liked what I saw with the team. They worked on a lot of stuff today. Saw some red zone stuff, moved the ball, third down blitz period. I saw some good things on both sides of the ball. You can tell the legs are a little heavy for most guys. But that's part of training camp. It's really just, sharpening iron and figuring out who's going to be part of the club. So, I look at the rookies, not sure if they're going to make the roster. I look at the vets. We're trying to work on very specific things throughout camp. But I think Coach Payton's got them going in the right direction, and they're taking ball pretty seriously right now.
Well, you were a third-round draft pick. We had a second-round wide receiver in Marvin Mims. What do you think he's going through right now at training camp, trying to prove that he can play at this level to his teammates and to coaches?
Yeah, unfortunately, Tim Patrick got hurt. It was heartbreaking. And when you have adversity, there's opportunity, and that's just the circle of life in this league. And so right now, he's got an incredible opportunity to maybe get a whole lot more playing time than what he would have just a few weeks ago. So the clock is ticking and speeding up for him, but he's very talented. I think for him, it's mostly grasping the offense, understanding what they're asking him to do, being consistent every day. And, your first year is one of your hardest years because it's your first year in the league. But he's very talented. I think he has a lot of upside.
I want to ask you about a couple more wide receivers on this Broncos team. But first, let's hear from Courtland Sutton after practice here on day 13.
I really wanted to get stronger, this offseason, my legs, upper body, and everything. And Coach Dan has done a great job with, working with me, and the rest of the guys, the rest of the strength staff have been doing a great job working with me, making sure that I was able to put the weight on, but then turn into muscle and then lean back down, which was nice. And then, as of now, they're, still working with me, allowing me to go in there and, work out how I like to work out, go in there, lift some heavy weights, but then also making sure I don't get too heavy. Josh and our nutritionist, Emma, they've been doing a good job of, keeping me lean, fast, body feeling good, and, just overall feeling really good.
So that's Courtland Sutton after practice here on day 13. Ed, a guy like Courtland Sutton went through the injury a couple years ago, working his way back. He's looking a little bit sharper, but working back from an injury like that, how long do you think it takes for him to really get back to the guy we see?
I mean, he looked good today. He had a touchdown down in the red zone. He had a good catch on the sideline. He's a big receiver. He can use his body. I think he's an excellent guy, especially in the red zone, but creates matchup problems with certain teams based on who they have defensively. So, I got to play with Rod and Shannon, and we had such a great group of guys. I think it helps to have a receiving core. Don't have one guy you can just bracket or take away, roll the safety over the top of him. He's going to have a big year. Jerry's going to have a big year. We talked about Mims being able to contribute early. And the more weapons you have, the easier it is on everybody. And so I think he's going to be a really big part of what they're doing. In terms of how he was moving pretty good today. Again, I think everyone had a little bit of training camp legs today. But for the most part, he was moving pretty well, and I think they're expecting a lot out of him.
So how do receivers make that jump? You're playing at one level, you want to get to that next level. How do you do it? How do you go from point A to point B in your career?
I think it's consistently working on your craft. I know for me at least, I played on 3 teams at 3 years at one point and then settled in here in Denver and got to have a really good run here in Denver. But from how you eat to how you train to how you treat yourself off the field to how you study the playbook to how you practice route running, you got to do all of it, and you have to do all of it consistently over time to give yourself a chance to be the best version of yourself. So it's not like you snap your fingers and you're an all-pro. I mean, you got to consistently work at it all the time.
That's a good point.
Hopefully Jeudy is making that commitment, and we'll see a little bit of a jump from him this year. Ed, when you were out of practice, you had to deal with this guy on the other side. With this Broncos team, they got Justin Simmons, K-Jack, Caden Stearns. They got some guys on that secondary. What do you think about this group?
I really like the group. I mean, it was an honor to play with this guy, man, the silent assassin.
Same here.
I remember the first time I played against him, I couldn't believe he was a safety, man. I mean,
I can believe you're a receiver.
I'm like, look at the size of this guy. I had to ask my coach, are you sure he's a safety? Is that the linebacker? But he protected me in practice. He never took me out. And that's one of the things I noticed today. They were protecting each other. There were a couple guys hit each other, but they'd go full speed and protect each other in practice. And so it's such an honor to play with this guy. I see, Justin Simmons didn't practice today, but they have some leaders on that defensive side of the ball that have been here a minute. They had a lot of success defensively the last several years, and now it's time to have some team success. But I think some of the leadership on this team is going to come from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's go downfield level and check in with team reporter Sydney Jones.
Thanks, Phil. We're here with safety Kareem Jackson. Kareem, it's training camp 14 for you. Do you approach these days any differently at this point in your career?
Approach them about the same. For me, it's all about routine right now. Get in early, get ready for practice. So I like to come out and, see if I can, kind of realize what I'm seeing and remember things from day to day, formations, route recognition, stems, different things like that, and just try to go off of that, because for me it makes the game a lot easier once we get to, preparing for other teams, and watching film for me and my, and my mental aspect of the game. So just try to, like I said, my technique, playing within the calls and obviously getting guys in the right spots.
What have you thought about the offense's progress? I know they've had a good couple practices here the past few days.
Yeah, they have. Guys have been looking really good. Russ has been commanding the offense. They're doing a lot of different things, things that, we'll probably see once we get in the season. So for us, defensively, it's definitely helping us. But they've been looking really good. Court's been looking good. Jerry's been looking good. Like I said, Russ has been doing a great job at getting the offenses in the different sets and commanding and like I say, all together, they've been looking great as a collective unit.
Vance Joseph was asked about you and Caden Stearns the other day, and he talked about, how much this defense needs both of you guys and, has packages for the both of you. Do you view this as a situation where, you guys are both going to contribute, both have a role?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. At any given time, we can have 6 DBs out there. So I'm sure it'll be some situations where we'll all be on the field. So, for me, just all about coming out and competing, being a piece to the puzzle, doing whatever I can to help the team. Obviously, me and Caden have a great relationship. So, anytime we all can be out there, the more the merrier.
You talk about your relationship with Caden. I know he's mentioned how much of a mentor you are for him and how much you've helped him in his career. Do you take pride in that and, help being the vet in the room?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely take pride in that. I've seen a ton of ball. Probably at this point played against every team, every coordinator, seen all the different offensive schemes and things like that. So for me, it's all about giving what I have back to the younger guys, giving that knowledge, whether it's about techniques, whether it's about, recognizing different things pre-snap and post-snap as well. Having experience of playing pretty much every position in the secondary is for me and our room is a luxury. So to be able to help, guys like Pat, Mari at the corner position and move inside and help Ishing and, me and K1 talk about different things here and there. Obviously, he's a seasoned veteran, and also to the safety spot, helping Caden and some of our younger guys. For me, it's all about that, because I was once that younger guy as well, and guys helped me. So for me, every day I come in the building, I try to give every piece of knowledge I have, whether it's about football, whether it's about real life situations, to those guys, and and just try to be that avenue that never closes for them.
Well, Kareem, always a pleasure talking with you. Thanks for taking the time today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Phil, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Sydney. Wrapping up here with Ed McCaffrey on set. The Broncos getting set to head over to the Arizona Cardinals. What do you like about getting some preseason reps in? Were you a fan of just getting some work in or not so much?
Yeah, it depended. Like when I was a rookie, I was excited to get a chance to wear an NFL uniform and play. By the time I was a 10-year vet, I didn't even want to play in the preseason. I'm like, can we just fast forward to the season? This is a complete waste of my time. But everyone's different. Some people like getting a little contact and just putting the uniform on just so they're under the lights in a new stadium. But, I had a flashback from our last segment. Do you remember the time, Super Bowl 32, this guy knocked out everyone on both teams at the same time? They might have had to delay the game, including himself. Do you remember that?
I remember your block too.
How cool was that, man? I'm just having this flashback. But that's the thing. These guys out here are young bucks, and no matter how long you play, when you're my age, you blink, and that seems like that was your whole career. But there's certain things that stand out, and playing with this guy is one of them. And that hit he had in Super Bowl 32 is one of them.
You had hit in that game.
I had a couple. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. But like when I watch these guys out here, that's what you hope for them. And some of them have won Super Bowls on other teams, but the thrill of going out there with your brothers and competing and getting to the playoffs and winning a Super Bowl. We haven't been to the playoffs in a long time, and I think Coach Payton's got them going in the right direction. I'm very optimistic, not overly optimistic, but optimistic from what I'm seeing. Some guys will make the team in the preseason. There'll be one or two guys that just separate themselves in these preseason games. But I think the veteran players out here, they got a new coach, so they got some stuff to work on. But I think they'd all rather just let's just get to the season. We're ready to go.
Yeah. Steve, I know you like the preseason.
Well, yeah, I did like the preseason just from a person's point of view where I had to go in and tackle people full speed. I didn't want my first tackle to be during the regular season. So I had to get used to that. I had to get my body used to it and my mind used to running into somebody who's running at me full speed.
That's why I didn't like the preseason. Because he's one to tackle people.
No.
Would you rather get tackled by this guy?
I didn't want to tackle you, though. I mean, he's huge.
Well, I didn't want to get tackled either, so we were on the same page.
Yeah, the difference between defense and offense.
Much rather be the tackler than the guy getting tackled.
Yeah, for sure.
Ed, as we say goodbye here, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Oh, man, Lisa and I have been hanging out with our friends, and we had the best summer of all time. And now the fall's here. We'll be chasing around, watching Broncos, watching Christian out in San Francisco. Our youngest, Luke, is at Rice, going to watch his games. Max is coaching with the Dolphins. Dylan just graduated. He's working with a new company. So I'm going to be a dad and hang out with friends and family and watch the kids and cheer for these guys when I get a chance.
You deserve it.
I think a lot of Broncos fans are Christian fans, so they want to see him do well.
It's all Colorado here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Steve Atwater and Ed McCaffrey, I'm Phil Milani. This has been Broncos Camp Daily.